everyone. Thank you very much for watching this special workshop today. We are talking about Mazemen Super S Ramen today, and then this is one of the most frequently asked question. Nowadays, well, Mazemen Super S Ramen has been like one of the fastest growing type of ramen dish that that we've seen like across the world, and then so we thought that would be great, if you can share some of the stuff like what we've been developing, right, so far on Mazemen. And then, to, today being Friday, we have a Friday special, that's when like, what, like we share, right, one dish, right? We're not gonna only just make noodles, but also we're going to share one dish of Mazemen dish, right, with you guys, that we make from scratch in the kitchen later. Let me go through some slides, right, prepare, right, so for the people who don't understand what Mazemen is, like what we're talking about, right, later, because, you know, we usually make Mazemen noodles, right, on our noodle machine. So we're going to show you guys today, our Richmond Gold 2 machine. That's the newest and latest, most advanced noodle machine that we have, right, for, you know, usually like small to mid-sized noodle production and then micro noodle factory business. So why don't I just get into some slides that I prepare, right? And then, first of all, like I want to explain like what Mazemen is, right? And then, well, ramen has been like around for 150, 160 years, so we adopted like Chinese, stand noodles, like, we kind of imported from China, right? And then that uh, this ramen is like evolved in Japan, right? Well, so like we start like first started off with the standard ramen, well, regular hot soup noodle, right? So we have soup, right, and then which consists of like soup stock, tare, and then flavored oil. So we have a lot of soup, right? And then soup density is like low to high, and then we have noodles in it. So like hot soup noodle, like this is the regular standard ramen that we still see today. This is the standard type. When we have an image of ramen in our head, like this is the first thing that comes to our mind. Standard ramen, hot soup noodle, but like evolved right into this Tsukemen. Like so, Tsukemen started like probably 60, 70 years ago. Then oh sorry, like 50 years ago or so, like, and then Tsukemen, like this is dipping noodle, right? So we have soup or like dipping sauce, right? That consists of like soup stock and tare and flavor oil. That's the same types of components that we see in the standard ramen, but like soup volume is pretty small, right, compared to standard ramen, hot soup noodle, and then but the soup density is usually medium to high. So because we have cooked noodles, right, and then we need to dip it into sauce to have a kind of balanced taste, right? So we want to have the sauce that's like really high, really like strong in taste, right? So that's a Tsukemen, right? And then we have now like Mazemen or Ayamen style ramen that we're talking about today. And then, well, um, so we probably started having this type of ramen probably 30 years ago or so. And then, well, we have cooked noodles, right? But there's no soup at all. We don't have soup in this style of ramen. We only have like a high density. We don't have soup, right? But like instead we have like tare and flavored oil, and then sometimes like we use a little bit of stock, but like almost like most cases, like there's nothing, there's no stock at all used. So it kind of evolved, right? This ramen evolved like into like having like less and less soup, right? But like more kind of focusing on the noodles themselves, like noodles. So So I guess like over time, you know, well, of course, like standard ramen, like hot soup noodles, is like probably most dominant type of ramen out there. But like gradually we've been seeing like more and more like Tsukimi style specialty restaurants, and then Mazemen style specialty restaurants, right, across the world. And then so over time, right, what I wanna emphasize here is that like the importance of noodles, right? Quality noodles are getting bigger and bigger over time, right? So that's how we evolve. And then as you can see in this picture, like if you have mazemen, we are like serving mazemen, like mazemen. I think the less soup, the more suitable, it is for takeaway items. So you can have this kind of like mazemen takeaway cup, right? That's very easy to make, right? Um, so mazemen sauce, right? Is it's very easy to make, but like you know, and then like other thing that like that's great about mazemen is that like well because you don't have to make stock, right? You don't have to cook stocks, which is like probably the most intense a process, like the task that you have to do, like running your ramen shop, right? But if you're a specialty ramen shop, right, then you don't have to cook your own stock. So you only have to make a sauce, right, the tare, and then that's well that was like around like 50 to 60% of the entire sauce, and then you have like flavored oils, 25%, per ratio, and then you have fish powder, like like other types of kind of seasoning or flavoring powder, dry powder item, 15%, and then you may add like a little bit of vinegar, from 5% of the entire sauce amount. So that's a kind of typical Mazemen sauce that you can make, right? So kind of the main topic of the this workshop, like noodles, right? So again, like mazemen uh, dish, noodles are more important than well, of course, there's no soup, right? So like noodles, like important part mazemen. Um, so when talking about noodles, like I usually like bring up this like chart, like to explain what like different types of noodles are, and then we can fit like any type of noodles that we make right in this chart. So hydration, right? Hydration, like how much water you add right to the flour to bake noodles, right? And the protein content of flour, the bake, so protein content, determines the hardness of the noodles. So higher the protein, the harder the noodles, right? And then noodle size is also important, right? Thinner, the softer. Um, so Mazemen is like kind of in the middle, mid hydration ratio. So it's yeah, low hydration, like medium. It's in the middle, and then like noodle size tends to be kind of like in the middle, but like kind of the hot, like a thicker side, right? Because we are kind of focusing on the noodles, right? Noodles. So what's important on the noodles is that like noodle texture. So to experience more noodle texture, we want to get the noodle size like a little bit thicker, right? So it's on a thicker side. And then so when making a noodle recipe, right? There are certain variables that we want to be concerned about with, right? And then so that's a protein content flour, we just talked about, right? And then well, there's another thing that when it comes like a wheat flour, there's nothing we want to be concerned about is that viscosity or in the starch. There's a well, there's viscosity with starch. So that's how elastic the noodle will be, right? So it's chewiness, right? And then so well, this value though isn't that is not shown up on the product label. So like you need to measure it, you need to check it, um, and then you can't really check it like with a conventional, regular device, right? But we have this device that you can measure the viscosity value of your flour. So if you have some flour that you want to test, right? You can send those flour to us, and then we can test it for you, right? And then free of charge. So and then hydration we talked about, right? Higher hydration, like softer noodles be, right? And then noodle size, right? Of course, thicker the harder, more bite. And then it's also important to talk about how you're going to serve your mazemen, right? So mazemen, like it could be served like hot or cold. So when you well serve your noodles cold, right? And then you cook the noodles and then you chill them, right? You chill them, so that the noodles get tighter, so the noodle texture is like harder, right? So you want to take it into account when you want to structuring your recipe, right? And then when you serve, if you are serving them cold, I mean hot or warm, right? The noodle texture would be soft. So you want to take it into account. And so ingredients, flour, water, currency, and salt. And then some of the ingredients we have would be like, maybe we adding some eggs, right? And then the gluten to, make the noodles harder. And then some garlic flavoring ingredients. And then, we may be using like some, grain, different types of grain flour, like whole grain, to be like a nice thing to add to make them healthier, right? More fiber. So the flour is, the most important ingredient we want to think about. So protein, we talked about, right? Hardness, and then ash. So ash is basically, how much mineral the flour contains, and then so the higher the ash, the darker the color the noodle will be, right? Um, then I think overseas, flours available overseas like have a higher ash content, and then that's that's inevitable, but like but that's a good thing. Higher the hash, like higher minerals, but like but how you treat that flour to have the like kind of, if you're concerned with color, then you want to choose pick the flour that gets the color nicely. Viscosity, right? So again, if you have a flour you want to test, then you can send it to us, and then we can get your feedback for free. So yeah, hydration is another like very big factor to determine like your texture with your basement. And then low hydration, right? 25 to like 29%. Medium hydration, 30 to 39%. High hydration over 40%. So yeah, mixing time. Like when we mix this, flour with the water, the mixing time is a bit different, right? So basically, the lower the hydration, the longer the mixing time. And yeah, another thing about water, hydration was one thing, right? How much water you add, but like, the water itself, right, is also important factor in, you know, um, making the great Mazemen noodles. So we're using water, like we want to use like soft water, right? Soft water is basically, doesn't have any minerals like magnesium, like calcium. Because when we cook the noodles, then it's all this calcium, salt, right? Other things like that dissolve in the water, cooking water, right? And then in exchange, like the noodles absorb water. But if you cook the noodles in hot water, right, because of all these like minerals already contained in water, right, there's less room for these things to get out, right, into right water. So it takes time. It takes longer. So when the longer time it takes to cook noodles, right, well, the noodles melt, right? The noodle surface melt. So that's not good for the noodle texture. And then we use noodles in the cooking water, and then the noodle get damaged, right? So there's nothing good about using hard water in cooking noodles. So yeah, we should use soft water. But before deciding on like, well, okay, we're gonna use water softener or something, right? But you wanna check your water first, right? So currency is something that you know, well, you have to have like in your noodles to be called ramen. But there are many types of currency out there, but like this is the basic types that we use. So potassium carbonate and sodium carbonate. Potassium carbonate is like something that hardens the noodle texture and then change the noodle color to pale yellow, and then has this like kind of smell that distinct smell that it's called currency smell. Then sodium carbonate like does the exact opposite. So we you know use different types kind of different blending ratios of this currency for different noodle sizes. Thinner the noodles, like we want to increase the amount of potassium carbonate to make them harder. Um, the soft noodle, like we want to increase the amount of like sodium carbonate to make them softer. And then usually we use the one with the 60% potassium, 40% sodium carbonate. So, but so those are the basic three ingredients that you want to have in Mazemen noodles. Yeah, you can have like any other additional ingredients, but those are the three main that we want to have, right? And then so kind of briefly go over the noodle making processes, right? So we first weigh ingredients, right? And then this is the most important process, right? Because we want to weigh ingredients, and then we believe in this method, like digital cooking method, right? That where we rely on numbers, right? Numerical values, other than like I don't know, experience or like um, our tasting buds or whatever, right? But we want to rely on numerical values. So we go by weight, and then we use grams and pounds, ounces, right? So yeah, so that like every time we make something, we get the same result, right? Consistency is a quality. So then mixing process is very important, and then we are not gonna show this workshop like how the mixing process, but the mixing process is very important. So we want to hydrate the dough, like flour, solid ingredients well with the water equally, right? So it's very important when to making good um, texture. So after that, like we do the resting process. We just put a dough in the plastic bag and let it sit at the room temperature for 30 minutes an hour to an hour, and then we're gonna process this dough into the through the meat rollers, right? And then make a sheet of dough, and then combining process, and then second resting process. Yeah, we're gonna explain, and then I think it's better for you guys to see them, than being um, hearing about them. But like, so that's the process. Like we need to like do like to make a dough, right? To make a dough for mazemen noodles. But after that, right? So we just thin it and then cut it and portion it, and then usually we um, rest the noodles in a fridge. That's third resting process, and then cooking, right? And then cooking noodles is like as important as making noodles themselves by itself, right? So cooking noodles is very it makes or kills the Mazemen noodles. If you screw up this process, like you're gonna ruin the Mazemen noodles, like we've worked so hard to develop, right? Then the key is the gelatinization, right? Gelatinization. So yeah, generally like start like it's a start noodle take up liquid and then swirl, up heating and then become kind of like clear gel like texture. Otherwise, like noodles are still raw, right? And then that's not cooked. So and then yeah, so like the cooking, right? You want to have a boiling water, right? Boiling, like 98, 99 over 99 degree Celsius, right? And boiling, and then after that, like you throw the noodles in there, and then cook them, and then yeah. So I want to show you guys how we cook the noodles later, but cooking noodles is as important as making noodles. So getting the right noodle texture, right? So noodles get soggy, soft, when we cook and then cook the noodles and then like we well give them right in hot soup, right, or leave them out, and then because when you cook the noodles and then the water gets absorbed right into the noodle, but like there's still core, right, that kind of still kind of like raw part like in the core of the noodles, right, and then but the core is like all like penetrated through with the water soup, then it's soggy, so not good texture. um and then I just want to talk about like homemade noodles, right, is you know profitable than buying noodles. It depends on your values as well, but buying noodles, for example, like you're paying like 50 cents per serving, and then but making noodles, the cost of making one serving of noodles, may be like more or less 20 cents per serving, right? And then you're looking at you're paying like okay 22,500 per month, like if you're serving like 150 serving per day, right? And then, but if you're making noodles, right, you're just paying say about $50 per month, right? So that's like 50 to 60% savings. So the cost wise, homemade noodles, making your noodles yourself, like is very valuable. Um, before we go, like I know, just allow me like a few minutes to talk about this machinery, which has been gold that we going to show you guys in a minute. But Richard Gold 2 has been like used for I don't know pretty popular machine for micro noodle factory business, and then the reason for that is like these three vital strengths that he has, right? One is ease of use, versatility, and then building noodle making technologies. So ease of use. So I think you're gonna see, but like low height. Well, I'm just gonna put in numbers, and then so you can understand like how low these machines are designed. So just for Richmond Gold 2, right? And then in um yeah, usually like 25 kilo this silky mixer is used with Richmond Gold 2. So I'm just showing it this slide, and then so just Richmond silky mixer that's 34.1 inches high, right? Then Richmond Gold 2 just 34.5 inches high. That's the height. Like you have to lift bag of flour or like container of dough, right, up, right. So yeah, the height is very important, height part, because you have to lift the heavy stuff up, right, to this height every time you you know make noodles, right. So and then has this automatic feeding system, right. So once you place dough on this conveyor, right, you can lead the rest to the retrieval 2. Thanks to the sensors, like sensing capability that retrieval 2 has, right, it knows how much dough is being fed, right, into the roller. So it knows how like fast it has to move the conveyor to feed the appropriate amount of dough, right, into the roller. So you don't have to do it by hand, So it's very, I mean, anybody can do it. And then another thing is that like when we retrieve noodle when we are noodles coming out of the machine that we have to catch noodles and then place the noodles in the container, right? So and then that can be like pretty you know awkward, cumbersome task because in conventional noodle machine, like this point where you catch noodles is like set to like a low point, right? So you have to bend over and then catch noodles, and then so you have to kind of do it like in an awkward posture, like for quite a while. So but like with the Richmond Goal 2, it's high, set to high position, like 55 centimeters high from the ground. So you can just literally just put regular chair, standard chair in front of it, and then like sit on it, and then catch noodles like with it comfortably, so you don't hurt your back or anything. And then pretty much you can control everything with this touch panel. You can set the roll gap, you can set the roll speed. You can see everything that's going on in the panel during operation, right? So it's very visible. Versatility is another thing that Richmond Gold has been like very popular for. It has variety of it's very capable of making variety of sizes, shapes of noodles. And then coming back to this chart, right? So Richmond Gold 2 is very flexible in that, well, it's capable of making noodles that are wide range of hydration ratios, so like 25% to like 45% even. So very wide range of hydration ratios like you can cover, right? But compared to like conventional pasta machines, which are capable like making noodles that are like only in hydration range of like 32% and 36%. So it's a very big difference between what kind of noodles it can make, the conventional pasta machine can make, and then which one go to can capable of making. So yeah, like tonkotsu noodles, right? That's the most popular ramen noodles in the world. And then of course like conventional fresh pasta, it's ramen, and then high hydration noodles like udon, sukemen, and then all types of like Chinese noodles that we're gonna cover actually next week workshops. Then you can see that hydration is like very important factor when it comes to like the flexibility and versatility of the machines. But like you see in these pictures of different hydration dough, then it's capable of making noodles using variety of ingredients. Different color, different flavors, right? It's very easy to do. The Richmond Gold 2. And then finally, it has built-in noodle making origin techniques inside this machine, right? So it has programs that regulates the speed of roller, for example, to roll the dough right at the appropriate speed for a certain phase of the process, and then it's capable of like optimizing the speed of the roller. I mean the speed of roller and conveyor belt, right? Again, like I know as I said, like well, when you place a dough, you can just weave it to the Richmond Goal 2, so anybody can do it. And then it also has this safety capability that protects workers from getting injured. It's almost like no bread. You don't have to worry about pretty much anything. Because as you get, well, we'll show you later. But it's got like my most advanced like safety features. Commercial noodle making machines. So it has all these features that like make sure basically actually anybody regardless of like the skills or experience, like to be able to make noodles that are Mazemen noodles that are like a professional noodle makers with over 10 years of experience capable of making. So that's why Richmond Gold 2 is a go-to machine for micro noodle factory or like any type of small to mid sized noodle production. And then we're gonna show you guys that we're gonna probably taste the mazemen dish that we're gonna make later in the kitchen from scratch. But yeah, I think the bad thing about this kind of remote online workshop is that well, we can't like you guys try like taste the noodles, right? So that's why like we want to promote this special workshop that we have in Houston, Texas, right? Like coming up later this month, 27th and 28th. So we have this showroom, right, in Houston, Texas, and then where we have Richmond Gold 2, right, to for you guys to experience and then actually touch, and then actually operate and make your own noodles right on, and then we're gonna share like a lots of noodle making techniques, noodle making knowledge, right, that you guys can start using like for next week, right, and apply them to your business, right? And then start making improvements in your products and stuff. But it's just $60 per attendee. That's like a steal. With this value that we provide during this workshop, and then of course, other than this workshop, right? We have private demos. You can provide private demos, right? So then we also have showroom in Amsterdam, Netherlands, right? So same thing. And then for this month, we have a workshop coming up on 20 and then 27th. And then so this workshop, because of the limited space, we only have probably a few seats available on these dates, right? So if you have, if you're interested, right, please sign up for your seats, right, before we run out the seats, right? So there are pages available like for you to sign up like on our website. So hurry up and then go to our website, yamatonoodle.com, and then find the pages and then sign up for a seat. I think we still have few seats left available for you to sign up and grab. So all right, so I think enough talking, and then wanna show you guys what Richmond go to, and then make mazemen noodles. Yeah, so it's a Richmond go to, and then it's I think so we have Megumi, right, making mazemen noodles, right? So and then I think maybe is five two. Not sure how I'm not sure how high, but compared to how high, the Richmond go to is like still pretty low, right? So it's very easy for her to make mazemen noodles on this machine. But as I said, like we're not going to show the mixing process, but to save you guys time. But so let me prepare this dough right in advance, and then put in this plastic bag for resting. That's the first resting, right? And as you can see, there's a whole grain right needed in them. So whole grain, like kneading a whole grain, has been like pretty trending to it's a very good practice that you can do, right? To do that well because it's healthier, right? And then so people notice that, and then so initially like well, we're gonna set that roller gap, right? The initially, and then that's 1.5 millimeter, and then so place the dough, right? And then so if you open this safety gate, right, it's dangerous usually, but because there's a sensor that's running while this is in process, it's an operation, um, the invisible sensor, right? So any object that's like going through the sensor, makes this machine to stop. So um, it's very safe, even though like the entrance to the rollers is like wide open, right? So it's very practical to have this like a wide open space, right? Um, but it's dangerous, right? So see, so it stopped right as penguin the hand like went through um, the sensor. So because that door gets like bigger, and then like if you have safety gate or something to protect the hand from going in, right? And then, but it's also like preventing the big door from going in, right? So it's cumbersome, like it's not convenient, but like we have this system that this sensor safety system, then it's both practical and then safe, right? So that's why like you can put anybody on this machine to operate it, and then safely, and then um, yeah, you can, well, you are, yeah, kind of gives you a peace of mind that like, okay, you put this person with no, who has no um, skill background or experience, right? But you know you're like sure that like this person is gonna be able to make great noodles, as well as like gonna be safe, so um so after that, right, so we call this process rough forming, right? So now we have this like rough sheet of dough that's still fragile. So but we want to, well, have this like very good noodle texture, right? Chewy and all. So we're separating it into two, and then we're going to combine them to one sheet of dough. So this way, and then so check out this button, right? So combining, right? So you just push this button, and then reaching roll, like adjust the roller gap to appropriate you know thickness. So you don't have to memorize the formula. You don't have to calculate it in, like in the head, right? You just have to remember to push that button, right? So, yeah, combined process is very, very important, vital process in making the very good noodle texture for Mazemen noodles. Again, like Mazemen noodles in the chicken noodles, right? Because less soup, more important the noodle texture, noodle taste, right? So, developing a great noodle texture in Mazemen noodles is like critical part to to success of your Mazemen noodle. So you can't skip this process when you if you don't want to make great Mazemen noodles. But anyway, so basically kind of making me even, right, and then um, combine them, right, combine these two sheets to one. And then want to do this combining process twice. Yeah, one time like we do a pretty good job on developing the gluten structure inside dough, but like we found that like, well, two times, I combined them twice, would produce the best result, through thousands of experimentations we've done. So we do it twice, and then again just push this button, right, and then just adjust the roller gap, by itself, so you don't have to memorize it, you don't have to calculate it in the head. So that's why you can put anybody, right? You put anybody without any experience to, you can expect him to work hard to make the best Mazemen noodles, right? So that's a beauty of rich angle too, right? You know, I guess like today's workplace where it's very hard to hire, recruit, retain good highly skilled workers, right? So so it's a very good piece of equipment like in this environment, you know, because you can put anyone in this machine to make great noodles. And then so Mazemen noodles are fairly wet noodles. Um, yeah. So we want to start dusting. Want to start dusting this dough, right? Start dusting it, and then so duster there's an automatic duster, and then it's in sync with the machine's operation, and then you can adjust the amount of dusting you want to do, and then so again like combine process, and then thinning process. So you don't have to, you just push one button, and then you adjust the roller gap and accordingly, like appropriately, right? So it's a very so you don't have to like push all these buttons, or like rotate something to adjust the roll gap. Just push this one button. Right? And then so we're just gonna thin, right? We're just gonna thin to the final thickness, and then from this point on, like see, like it's going faster. It's going faster. Surgical too knows that like you wanna go slow to apply good pressure to develop gluten, to make good dough, right? Noodle texture up to the point, right? Up to combining process. But then after that, knows, okay, for higher productivity, we should speed up, right? So it starts going faster, right? And then, so we want to measure, right, the thickness of the 2.4, 2.4 millimeter after it goes through 2 millimeter. So like the actual thickness though always is bigger than the roller gap we said, because it expands, right, after it's gone through the roller gap. And then so to set that roller gap, right, the final, um, it's gonna be manual input, but like um, yeah. So we calculate the bounce back rate as like 0.4. Calculate, but we checked, and then was bounce back by 0.4 millimeters. So we expect that to bounce back by. Then we use this color 16. That's most likely 2.0 millimeter, right? So kind of like almost square shape, right? So we expect that 1.6 millimeter thickness to bounce back at 0.4, so it should be 2.0 millimeter, right? So then using number 16, most like 2.0 millimeter width, so it's gonna be kind of square shape almost. Then again, we're gonna cut, right? So again, right? This What's great about Digital 2, right? Has this conveyor that carries noodles out, and then that you know the height of the conveyor is like pretty good, relatively high from the ground, like again like 50 centimeters high right from the ground. So as you can see, like Mimi is like comfortable catching noodles in a comfortable chair. So it's very, I think, attractive piece of equipment that if you put it inside your restaurant, inside the factory, right? And they where customers can come and um, observe, right? I think yeah, they can see how you guys make noodles right from scratch, and then the noodles they are already like being made like in front of their eyes, right? So kind of exciting and then entertaining, right? Actually, a growing number of customers like starting to do this, and then gaining popularity and probably affecting their sales in a positive way, right? So it's very good, yeah, way to show off your noodle production. So okay, let's go move into kitchen and then we'll cook them and then put it together to bowl and then yeah. So, so this is our kitchen and then so kitchen, right? And the instructor at our noodle school, right? Mr. Sounds like kind enough, to show us his one of his dishes, right? Mazemen dishes. So okay, Mr. Sounds so like let's get started. Cooking noodle first. So yeah, cooking noodles, right, as I said, like as I talked about, like it's a very important process. You can make or break your Mazemen noodles, right? So that's the kind of cooker we have for ramen noodles, and then so ramen noodles are usually like we cook them like in the individual portions, um, like individual portion, right? So and then again, like as I said, we want to have like the boiling water, uh, boiling 98 degrees Celsius or and over, right? And then after started boiling, then we want to throw the noodles in, right?
はい、やっていきます。
はい。
今日は2種類の混ぜ麺を作ります。
So two types of mazemen. Oh, you guys are very lucky. We're going to see like two types.
はい。で、一つはドリンクのスプライドで味を調整したタレで作った混ぜ麺。
Oh, spread.
スプライド。これこれ。
Oh wow. So he uses like a soda to adjust the tare. One of them, right? Oh.
はい。で、もう一つはごま。
Another one is sesame paste, right? You want to use.
はい。一番簡単で早くでできるの。
Yes. So yeah, it's very easy and then fast, quick to make. Yeah. So we want to have boiling water, right? Boiling water, before we put noodles in, right? Otherwise, the noodles are gonna be soaked in the like kind of warm water, right? That's not good because we want to, gelatinize the noodles, right? But if you have like kind of warm water and then you put noodles in there, and they like kind of noodles are kind of soaked in the warm water before reaching into certain temperature, and then that's not good. That's going to break your motherland noodles. So, yeah, and then you want to have the see that there's a tap, right, running a little bit of water, right? So that's the water that's kind of like kind of clean water, right? Clean water. And then, we have this clean water going in, right, to make sure that, like, to maintain the, like, sort of good, clean water. Because as we cook more noodles, right, the water gets dirty, and then, the efficiency of cooking noodles is going to be, like, um, lowered, right? So we want to have this clean water, and then, make sure that you stir them, right? After you put them in the cooker, right? And then start timer. So he put the timer on 6 minutes.
はい。入れてる間に トッピングも作ります。
So okay, while the noodle is cooking, I'm gonna make the toppings.
これはこのスプライドの混ぜ麺用のトッピングです。これソーセージです。
So yeah, sausages for the Sprite and the soda powder. So
これで油で揚げてます。
okay, so he's frying the piece of sausage, right? And oil. So kind of light, maybe lightly fry a piece of sausages. Oh, okay.
生でもいいですが、揚げた方が香ばしいの香りとか、食感的にも
Yeah,
面白いかなと思い
you
ます。
can go fresh, right? Of course, but if you fry them, then yeah, we're gonna bring out like all the flavors and then the crunchiness, like kind of texture wise, like it's for better. Yeah, you can try.
で、1分間ぐらいでいいです。1分。
Yeah, well, my estimate is like about 1 minute. Yeah, see, like one thing that's bad about like this kind of like online workshop is that like you cannot smell, right? So I'm only smelling this sausages being fried, from here. So yeah, good smell. Good smell of sausages.
はい、これでちょっと、また
Then yeah, I'm gonna pull them down, right? And going into the, okay, so I'm just gonna pull them down, right? Then
油を入れてから、また味をちょっと味をつけていきます。では、
so and then sprinkle some
これで、いろいろ調味料を合わせた
some mysterious powder. He kind of blended himself like he probably doesn't remember what he blended, but it's very spicy. Um,
はい、これはスパライドの混ぜ麺用のトッピングです。
yeah, so that's toppings for the soda powder. And then he put the timer on 6 minutes, right? But like because he doesn't know like how long these noodles cook for, right? So he's checking, right? The noodle texture.
もう少し。
So whenever you're cooking new noodles for the first time, like you always want to kind of test, right? Yeah, test to see like how long noodles it takes noodles to cook, right?
はい。これ、ごまの混ぜ麺は、これで麺を、洗って水切って、この中で混ぜてから盛り付けします。
Yeah, so for sesame Mazemen, right? So like what we're gonna cook the noodles, right? And then like you're gonna wash and chill, then put it in a bowl, and then mix it with sesame paste.
でスプレッドは、麺はそのまま盛り付けして、トッピングを乗せて、で上にタレをかけます。
So for the soda curry Mazemen, so we're just gonna cook the noodles, right? And then place it in a plate, and then you know put a curry, and then put a topping on. So pretty simple and easy. So I guess sesame one, you are going to wash it and then chill it, right? So, you know, normally, so you wanna kind of distinguish between, like, because I think change the timing of cooking for the ones you chill, cold, the ones you serve them hot or like warm, right? So yeah, so make sure. Okay, so washing, right? This is it. Noodles still hot. Like you want to, splash all the water, right? And then, yeah, and then kind of, washing off the starch, right? That like kind of came out of the noodles, right? First. Um, then kind of starch, kind of slimy texture, right? Some people don't like it, so like you want to wash them off before, or chill them. But like in this case, like we're not chilling them, but like we were just washing them and then making sure that like all the water is out as much as possible before we plate it.
はい、さっき1人前、ごまベースの混ぜ麺、先作ります。
So okay, let me do the sesame mazemen first, and then gonna do the next one.
水につけても大丈夫です。
Okay, so that's the tare for the sesame.
はい、これがね。
Okay, so it's very looks very spicy. At the same time, like I smell the spice, from here.
で、きゅう
Okay,
り、
cucumbers. Okay,
ピーナッツの細かい
peanut. Peanut. Like like crushed peanuts. Like okay,
それで混ぜて。
okay. Let's well. Start this as well. Some more tare, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Coriander, herb. Looks looks pretty good already. Yeah, the smell. Wow. I mean, only smelling good. Yeah. Wow.
はい、で、盛り付けしていきます。
Okay, gonna plate it. Yeah, like usually, like we do this plating, with the intention of like kind of making it as higher as possible.
で、
Then
最後はこの
lastly, right, the sesame paste.
特製した
Okay. Wow, that's that's very simple and quick. Uh, wow, but that's fantastically good.
で、まあ、ニンニクとか、あと、スターチの肉も、一度で入れてもいいですが、
Okay, so and then you can add like a garlic, the condiments, other types of condiments like I know yuzu, the zest of yuzu and stuff like that. It to make it better. So
はい、次、スプ
the
ライト、マゼ麺。
okay the like a soda Mazemen. Wow, soda. Never thought of adding Sprite to Mazemen curry, but um,
で、さっき、
okay. So the sausage, right? That we fry a little bit, remember, and then okay. Oh,
いや、
fresh like a raw like peanuts with the skin on, and then cucumber. Oh, wow, wow. Well, I didn't. Well, I didn't expect that you put the peanuts on the skin on. Okay, the coriander turned up. Okay, and
本
then
当にまあ同じ材料で、まあ、いろいろ作り方違うで、いろいろ、まあ、たくさん
uh,
の料理ができるかな。
yeah. So using the same ingredients, right? You can like alter them like a little bit, and then um, create different recipes. I mean, for different dishes, right? So kind of like well, save you you know like with a low cost, you can serve like very high quality, high value dishes. So that's a very good way to serve the customer. Like wow,
まあ、最後もっと、
but
もっと綺麗にしたいやとか、色とかいろいろあったら、もう、まあ、トッピングとかいろいろこういう、ね、こういうものを使っても。
yeah. So if you wanna make it, look better, more um, more expensive, then you can add like this like kind of chili, you know, or like kind of using different colors, make them good. It's more expensive, right? Um,
ペーパーで味のつけてもいいし。
yeah, then you can put like a piece of yuzu, right, and make it nicer. And then you can charge command premium price, right? So wow, I these are great. Like two, I didn't expect like two dishes gonna come out, right? But thank you, Mr. Song. Like these are beautiful Muslim dishes, and then I'm sure they taste great, and then we're gonna taste them after this. But um, yeah, so as you saw, right? So Mazemen dish is like a very good product that you can start serving from next week, right? After watching these workshops, because they don't cost much as if you are serving like regular ramen dishes, because you don't have to cook that stock, right? Because cooking based stocks like pretty costly, very expensive. But like because you don't use soup, you don't have to make soup, right? So the cost wise, it's very low, and then at the same time, like you can charge a premium price because of the you know they taste good, right? And noodles are great, and then I think they are rare. Well, it's kind of like a Chinese style, but like it's actually ramen dish, right? So that's why like there are a lot of more and more Mazemen specialty shops like emerging across the world. So yeah, so it's a great dish to start making for you to start making, right? So please feel free to ask us any recipes, questions like how to make them, right? So that'd be awesome. So yeah, that's what we have for this class. But like the next week, we're gonna be doing because a lot of our customers been asked us, right? So like we are doing like udon noodles made on ramen machines, and then we're gonna be doing like Mr. Sun is gonna be doing like biam biam man, right? Biam biam noodles, which is like the probably one of the hottest noodles, Chinese style noodles. You know, that's coming out like in different parts of the world. So stay tuned. And then we already have a page set up for you guys to sign up for these workshops. So please go to the website and then sign up for these classes. And then don't forget to go to our website to find the special workshop that are coming up in Houston, Texas, and then Amsterdam, Netherlands, right? Later this month. So um, that's what we have for this workshop. And so thank you so much for watching. And then we hope to see you guys back